We are here with USC head coach Jeff Nygaard. Thank you for taking time with us after Block Blog. First question for you. What was your reaction and the team's reaction to getting into the tournament?
Well, I could probably layer in a number of different emotions, but I think validation of what the team has accomplished this year, the hard work that's been put in, and I also laced that with an opportunity to go after the ultimate end game, which we still have an opportunity to get better. We still have an opportunity to continue the season and continue playing. So it was excitement and validation as well as a number of other emotions.
Was one of those emotions surprise at all in getting in, or was the team pretty confident that they were in a good spot for the at-large bid?
Well, anytime you go after the at-large bid, there's always going to be a certain amount of anxiety regardless of the scenario. The only slam dunk that I thought in terms of the at-large was depending on how the Big West shaped up, whether Hawaii was going to win it and Long Beach needed it, or whether Long Beach was going to win it and UH was going to get it. So then it came down to, a far more of the arbitrary criteria, and so, I will say there's the surprise and the relief of, okay, we get to continue, but for the most part, we just continue this business as usual, and if we get to continue on, then we're prepared for it. If that's the end of the season, then we'll manage that as we need to.
I don't want to harbor on the previous seasons, but what in your mind clicked for this team to go 18-10 versus the previous few years where you didn't even have a winning record?
I could point to hundreds of little things. I could point to a number of big things, but this is something that's been seeded for 3.5, whatever it is, however long into the season. So basically 4 years of trying to create a sustainably great championship caliber culture, getting the guys to buy in, getting the vision correct, getting the values that we're looking for, getting the hard work, getting the people that we need internally to make sure that we're doing things top to bottom the right way. And so this year I think top to bottom, we've worked harder than I've ever seen before. I think the way that we've chosen to restructure the season to where we come into the season prepared and in better shape, and then a lot of the mental work and a lot of the other agendas that have come into play, they've all hit majors. And being 18-10 is a great, tremendous stride forward, and we still continue to look to improve, and we continue to get better even in the years to come.
Let's talk about the two all-conference players in Jack Wyatt and Ryan Moss. Let's start with Jack Wyatt. What will his legacy be at USC? Obviously, his career is not over yet, and he hopes not for a little bit, but to this point, what is Jack's legacy?
Jack's legacy, wow. Quite frankly, it'd be better to ask him that question, but here's what I can say about that. Jack Wyatt, and I think that anybody that graduates from USC, I have a lot of respect for. But Jack actually came back and got a master's degree, which and he's doing great with a huge workload and a very challenging master's degree, and he's getting a high GPA. And then he comes in and he competes every single night, and he's the consummate performer to where if he's a competitor, he goes out and he does his job every single night. And it doesn't matter to him as to who he's playing or where he's playing. It's just it's a very consistent performance. So it's kind of what you're asking for from a student athlete is you want guys who are going to do great in the classroom and you want guys who are going to do great on the court. So Jack personifies both of those values.
And then let's talk about Ryan. Ryan seemed like a couple of matches during the season he was carrying the team, and obviously Jack did well, but I feel like Ryan definitely had a much more of an improvement from last year to this year. Can you talk about how he's improved in his senior year?
He's embodied his leadership role. He has a senior sense of urgency about him to where he knows that this is the last one. He He's willing to do what it takes to have success, and he's made tremendous strides in his volleyball game. And I can share this with you, is that prior to this season, I'd never heard him speaking about wanting to compete as a professional volleyball player and continue on with volleyball. And now he's opened that up with his efforts and his performance to say that he has the potential to go international and compete. So that right there tells me that his own internal mechanism understands his own growth and progression, and that's what you're seeing when he goes out and competes night after night.
Let's talk about more about the match at hand, the opening round match against Woods. Obviously, you won the national title twice at UCLA. So, is there one single advice that you have been giving the team in preparation for this match?
One piece of advice. I'm not going to say so much advice as kind of just a thinking point, which is, and this is based on how we've gone about this season. I always like to think in terms of the toughest team that we have to beat is ourselves, or the toughest team that we have to play is ourselves. So where if we control our side of the net and we do the things that we're needing to do on our side of the net, we give ourselves opportunities to compete and win. So when we've had some losses, I feel like we just have a medium performance or a medium night. But those losses have all been tight. We haven't, other than maybe one or two, we haven't really gotten blown out this year. Like we played against Pepperdine at Pep, and I don't feel like we had a real strong performance, and we still had a couple juice games where we had opportunities to win. When we play good, that's when we beat teams. But here's what's really intriguing about this team is when we play our best, oh man, our best is really good. So that's where I say it is upon ourselves to make sure that we are managing our preparation, our mindset, our execution, and our performance. Because when we put it together, we play a really good brand of volleyball.
Sounds like sound thinking. In January, you actually played a match against Long Beach State in the Pyramid. You were the first team to take a set off of Long Beach State. What benefits do you see having played that match in the Pyramid in preparation for Tuesday's match?
Well, I mean, there's no surprise that Long Beach is going to be a team that's going to have to be competed against in order to win the national title. I mean, they won last year and they returned almost the exact same team. So, in order to go into that gym, which we knew was going to be NCAA final, we just gained experience as to how to compete in that gym with that environment against the top-ranked team, and they were undefeated. And there's a lot of earned hype, and there's a lot of credibility to what they're doing. So to go in there and to realize that we can take a game off them gives us a little bit of momentum, gives us some of that hope, gives us some of the snapshot of what we're capable of as a team. So moving forward, it's just exciting to think of that moment and getting in there to compete with a really good volleyball team. And they've earned that. You don't have that record for that sustained amount of time without being good. So I look at the way that the stage is set in terms of we have to, and then we match up against Hawaii, and then we would, depending on what the other side shapes up, you're going to play an easy match at this point. Every team's going to be tough, which is how it should be. So if we are a title, we will have had to compete against the best, and we will have to have made sure that we played our best. And that's kind of a storybook way to think of it.
And final question for you. I'm going to ask you to preview the match against Lewis. Lewis obviously won the MIVA regular season and the MIVA tournament. They also have the Player in the Year and their brother Matt Yoshimoto. What have you seen so far on tape of Lewis, and what's the game plan for SC?
Well, they're big and physical, and they've got a lot of experience. They have a real strong team culture. They have a very experienced coach. It's not a team that we are ever going to take lightly. We are not going to look past them because they deserve that respect of us being in the moment and doing everything we can to play them point to point, which it's going to be a fun matchup. I love this time of year. I love seeing the teams that are peaking. I love doing game plans against the best to see if we can apply that and if we can execute it and if we can come out victorious. So I know that they're going to be ready. I know that they're going to be a tough team to beat. I know that they've got some big physical guys in the middle that do a real good job, and they've got an extremely experienced setter. So it's upon us to come ready.
Well, thank you for taking time with us off the block. Good luck on Tuesday against us, and I'll see you in the pyramid.